Dillinger, and he's doing really well with the perfect 10 thing that he's been doing. So that's got to be exciting for you. He's also had a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out who he is. I mean, he's always been in the ring, super gifted.
Yeah.
But finding that connection with the fans and finding that character that has that connection that goes along with the ring work.
Yeah.
And he's finally kind of put his finger on that, so it's kind of exciting, and it's got to be fulfilling for you to see that happen too.
Yeah, it's super cool, and I talked about it in the ESPN articles, like the full circle thing of wrestling, and the articles on the brotherhood of wrestling and how cool that is. Like, like me and your thing, like the first time we met, you're like, hey man, you're really good, and like at that point, like I thought I kind of knew what I was doing, but having a guy that, someone I looked up to, and a guy that was doing it and was where I wanted to be, like unsolicited, like I didn't even realize you were there. I was just in the ring, like doing spots. So stupid.
I was also wearing a mask. So
right, because we're trying to blend in the El Fuego's gym. Yeah. No, it's but yeah, I was there, and I was backstage at Royal Rumble when he was in the Rumble, and like this huge pop, and it's cool, like seeing everyone come around and kind of congratulate him.
That's awesome.
I liken it to like it's like you're, he's like my child, and not in that way, but he's in wrestling, like I'm kind of his dad. So it's like your kid going to Harvard or getting drafted in the NHL or something. So it's super. I almost cried in front of the Undertaker. I didn't cry, but I almost did because I'm a pretty emotional person, and that was super cool to see.
Well, and that's a night after you guys worked each other.
Yeah.
I
got my first big match in WWE.
Yeah, Takeover, right? So I don't know why I put that inflection on there. Takeover.
It was kind of French-Canadian. Take over.
A little bit, right? Or Bob and Doug. I think it's just all the Canadian floating around.
That's what it
kicked in. But how cool was that?
Yeah, amazing, man. It's like two things happened that month that were really interesting. That was kind of like my first big pay-per-view for WWE, and also the first time I wrestled in Madison Square Garden, and I wrestled Ty, and it was his first time too. So that was
nice.
That's like career bucket list. You know what I mean? It's I've always wanted to work there, and then I got to wrestle him, and Shane McMahon was there with his family, and like came up to us after and was like, man, that match was amazing, and like it was just the whole thing was great, man. The whole experience.
So now where did you guys first meet?
We first met in Cambridge, Ontario. I had a wrestling school there, and I had a wrestling school at the time just because I wanted to have a ring, so I got to stay sharp because I was starting to do a lot of tryouts with the WWE and dark matches and stuff like that, and I was to the point where I wasn't taking like just any indie booking. Like I wasn't going to wrestle for 20 people and for $10. Like I would do indies, but only good ones. And I was still very busy, but I wanted to have a ring so I could kind of like wrestle all the time. And I opened a school and ended up having a bunch of really good students. Crazy Steve from TNA is actually one of my students. He's done very well. And Jake O'Reilly, a bunch of guys in Ontario that are doing very well. And Ty was living in Cambridge, going to the fake Hart Brothers in Cambridge, and came and said he was leaving there, and he had only been there for a couple months, and there was no one there training really. He just kind of, they took his money, and you guys know the story of all that. So he said, I want to come to your gym. So he started coming to my school, and he was living with this girl at the time, and they got into a big fight and got kicked out. So he called me and said, hey man, like, can I come to your house? And so I went and picked him up, and he lived in my room. He bought a futon, and I put it in the corner of my room, and me and him lived in the same room for like a year, like while he was at my school. So that's how we met. I think we had met at an indie show in Niagara Falls originally, and he was asking about schools, and I didn't have one at the time, and I said there's one in Cambridge, and that's where I went. I told him the whole thing, like don't trust it and stuff, but it's somewhere that's close, and that's how we met.
And what year was this?
Oh geez, I'm terrible at this. 2001, maybe 2000, 2001.
So let's say 2000, 2001. Fast forward to 2017, and you guys are working MSG.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
How crazy is that? It's absolutely amazing, and there's so many of those stories in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That when you start here, because I didn't know that. I didn't know the extent of all of that. And just to hear how things can work out as long as you stick to it. And if you're good, but you also have to have this mentality of, I'm gonna power through all of this, and to see it eventually pay off for two guys that deserve it, it's very, very cool. That's a great story.
Things too. I mean, and you can tell the passion that somebody has too when there's been rejection.
Yeah.
You know, but that doesn't deter you from what it is you ultimately want. And in this business, and I think in any entertainment business, rejection is a big part of it. And being able to kind of push through that and not take it personally, and almost make using it as a tool to get better and as a motivator. And I think that you've done that. That's incredible, man. I'm really proud of where you're at now.
Yeah, thanks, man.